There was a little boy named Saeed who lived in a peaceful village nestled between tall mountains. Saeed was known among his friends for his great curiosity and love for adventure. Every morning, he would wake up early, climb the rocks of the mountains, and explore places no one had been before. He loved moving between the tall trees and playing by the flowing rivers. But there was one thing that always bothered him, the wind. Saeed was afraid of the strong winds that would shake the trees and push him away whenever he tried to play outdoors. He thought the wind was something bad, something that got in the way of his adventures. Every time the wind howled, he would rush back home, trying to escape it. One day, Saeed decided to face his fear. He said to himself, if the wind is so strong, it must not be a bad thing. Maybe I should try to understand it instead of being afraid of it. So he decided to go out on a windy day to face the wind with courage. On that day, Saeed went out into the open fields, where the wind was blowing fiercely, shaking the trees and sending leaves flying. This time, he wasn't afraid. Instead, he looked forward to testing himself. He stood in the middle of the field, closing his eyes slightly to feel the wind on his face. The moment the strongest gust of wind hit him, he felt something unexpected. The wind wasn't threatening him as he had thought. It gently pushed him, as if it was trying to guide him along the right path. At first, he was surprised, but then he began to enjoy the feeling. The wind was giving him energy, as if it were accompanying him on his new adventures. Saeed began running across the field, with the wind swirling around him, laughing and feeling a sense of freedom he had never experienced before. The wind felt like an old friend walking beside him every step of the way. He no longer feared the wind. Instead, he celebrated it, feeling happy that it made him feel strong and free. By the end of the day, Saeed returned home smiling, realizing that there was nothing to be afraid of. The wind was not an enemy, it was a natural force he could live with and benefit from. From that day on, Saeed looked at the wind differently. He had learned that facing fear wasn't always bad, and often, challenges are what help us discover new strengths within ourselves.